No ally in the Western world is more committed to coming to the country's aid in its hour of need than the stars and stripes of the red, white, and blue. And on the occasion of the fourth 2-on-2 ministerial meet between the two countries, a substantial sum of $500 million has been pledged to the bankroll Philippine military modernization and development, plus $129 million more for EDCA site improvement and disaster relief for those hit hard by last week's calamity, as we hear more from our Patrick De Jesus.
For the first time, the fourth 2+2 Ministerial Dialogue between the Philippines and the United States was held in the country to discuss economic and defense cooperation between the two nations. For the U.S., representation was led by Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, while the Philippines had Department of Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo and Department of National Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro. One of the outcomes of the meeting was the U.S. commitment of $500 million in military financing for the Philippines. This will primarily be used for the modernization of the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Coast Guard due to the challenges faced by the Philippines in the West Philippine Sea and other parts of the region.
Both of us share concerns, and many other countries in the region share concerns as well, about some of the actions that the People's Republic of China has taken, escalatory actions in the South China Sea, the East China Sea, and elsewhere. And this is something that we heard much about from our colleagues at the recent ASEAN meetings.
We're working with the U.S. Congress to allocate $500 million in foreign military financing to the Philippines. Now, this level of funding is unprecedented, and it sends a clear message of support for the Philippines from the Biden-Harris administration, the U.S. Congress, and the American people.
The U.S. will also provide an additional $128 million investment for EDCA sites. According to Defense Secretary Teodoro, aside from improving the Philippines' defense posture, this will also aid in humanitarian assistance and disaster response.
They can be venues for joint cooperation and interoperability between the United States and the Philippines, and multilaterally with like-minded nations. And likewise, they will serve also as venues for economic development, like Secretary Austin had said, with the USAID. So these are not monodimensional, but multidimensional investments.
Officials then assured the upcoming U.S. elections will not affect the strong relations between the two countries.
Elections are a regular feature of our democracy. What's also a regular feature is a strong, long-standing alliance between our countries. And that doesn't change from election to election. We have a mutual defense treaty that the United States is committed to. That commitment will endure, again, irrespective of administrations.
The Philippine-U.S. alliance and friendship has withstood the test of time. We've officially been partners for 7 decades, but it even goes beyond that. And in all those years, our relationship is held firmly and in fact has only grown more productive. And in fact, now we could even say our relationship is at a high point.
I do not see any partisan political detraction from our positions because they are based on principle.
Meanwhile, the U.S. is also set to provide $1 million for those affected by Typhoon Karina and the southwest monsoon in the country. Patrick De Jesus from the National TV for a new and better Philippines.